AITA for wanting my girlfriend to wear adult diapers. I'm a 26-year-old male. My girlfriend, 23, of 3 years has shown some changes in her bodily functions. At least once a week she wets the bed. It all started a few months ago. I used to wake up in the middle of the night, help her clean herself up, strip the bed and lay down towels to absorb what was left, but I don't anymore. It started happening more and more frequently. Well, this fine morning I wake 2 hours before I need to the warm wet embrace that is her wetting the bed in her sleep again. I scoot closer to the edge of the bed on my side and I wake her, let her know she just wet the bed again and roll over to go back to sleep. She notices and starts scooting over towards me. I told her no, she needs to stay on her side of the bed. She got upset that I wanted her to stay in her urine and got up, went to the restroom, came back about 10 minutes later and threw a towel over it all and got back in bed. So now today, I told her I believe it's due to her alcohol consumption right before bed, but she refused to give up the bottle. She says this should be a judgment-free zone and if she wants to drink in her own home at night she should be allowed to do so. I told her the drinking is fine but to just lower the amount. I wasn't trying to ban her from alcohol, but this phrasing now makes me think I should, like she might have a slight addiction. Anyways, I suggested next then we either get bed pads for her to lay on at night or adult diapers for her to wear to bed, or maybe even do both. She's a heavy wetter. She wouldn't have to wear them during the day obviously, just going to bed at night. She said that it's too embarrassing to even be asked to wear them and that it's out of the question and stormed out of the room. I can tell she's upset with me over it all. But I'm tired of waking up covered in pee. I'm upset too and I feels she's not trying to do anything to fix her bladder problems. So Reddit, I ask you, AITA? Edit 1 for those commenting on the smell. I deep clean furniture for a living ironically and thankfully. Getting urine out of a mattress is nothing new to me. Just tired of waking up in it and having to deep clean so frequently in my own home. I'm a little more than a clean freak but not quite a germaphobe. Edit 2 she does have other mental health issues, trying to keep some details to a minimum because she uses Reddit as well. Edit 3 there's been plenty of red flags and plenty of reasons for me to leave her. I don't for one simple reason ... Love is blind. It may sound cliche but I love her and want to help her work through her problems. It is a very long uphill battle getting her to want to help herself. She has experienced several traumas in her life. She sees a therapist but her visits died to only once monthly. Sometimes once every 2 months due to the pandemic. I want to talk to her about talking with her therapist about all this to see if she could shine some light on it for her, but I honestly don't know if she'd be too embarrassed to tell her that she wets the bed now on top of her other issues she has with her mental state. I'm gonna comment here because I hope Opt sees this. You can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. I repeat. You can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. The average person would be mortified if they were frequently urinating the bed and do everything in their human power to figure out why and stop it. Your GF is not for a reason. My ex did this, started a few times here and there and escalated to 3 times a week. I became so used to it, just like you are. He wouldn't see the specialists I found, he wouldn't discuss it, wouldn't switch therapists. Wouldn't clean up after himself either. Stop letting someone pee on you. She does not love you. She's found someone to tolerate her. You can't help someone who does not want to help themselves. Leave this woman. She needs to take care of her issues. I found out that my ex kept finding tolerant women such as myself and escalating his behavior till they couldn't handle it anymore. He has 3 exes before me with the same story. He has a current GF that I know he's still doing it to. You're just a caretaker for a sick person. Stop. Edit to add she probably is an alcoholic and maybe a pillhead too. I'm more concerned that she's more embarrassed about wearing a diaper than actually peeing on herself regularly while she sleeps. Maybe she is so passed out drunk that she pisses herself, because she obviously has either a blackout drunk issue so much so that she pisses herself on a weekly basis, or she has a medical issue where she can't regulate herself. Either way, the way you talk about just wear diapers and the way she talks about it, I can have a drink on the judgment-free zone, makes you both assholes in my book. Participant 1, like seriously exclamation mark. What's going on here? I like that you are this and love to be waking up to urine and you all are talking about it like it's no biggie. She not ashamed or something? And by ashamed I mean I would be tripping all over myself to make sure it never ever happens again, but maybe it's just me. Hee, you're an angel op. Thank God those exist, cause I'm very human. So NTA. Superintendent 56. Bedwetting is usually due to trauma. A lot of times children who were victims of sexual assault as a young child may wet the bed when they're older, like teenage years. But I don't think it has an age limit. It may be from another type of trauma or traumas, but I'm guessing Op's girlfriend doesn't feel ready to unpack all of that in therapy. Her therapist should at least know she's regressing if she had this issue in the past. But I'm guessing Op's GF and maybe Op himself may know what traumas is causing this happen. Bedwetting is a common sign of being sexually abused as a child. Alcoholism is as well. Maybe show a bit of sympathy and compassion because that shit is hard to deal with mentally and you don't know what this woman has been through to be in this position right now. Op, I don't think you're the off for asking, but it may take her some time to come around to the idea. Bring it up again in a safe, loving way and reiterate that this is coming from a place of love and that you want to solve the obstacles with her, as a partner. Okay, so I'm attempting to hijack the top comment to raise some awareness. I wasn't a bedwetter after the appropriate age until I turned 13, then boom. First it was once every so often, then it got so extreme to be practically every night. At the same time I got much more irritable, tired, and had a super dry mouth. My mom dismissed it as my period and later allergies until I needed a physical for camp. Turns out I developed type 1 diabetes at some point, likely when the bedwetting started. You can develop type 1 diabetes at any age, including adulthood. It's an autoimmune disease that is not caused by obesity or any life choices or changes. Bedwetting can occur when your body tries to dump excess sugar through the urine and you're too tired to wake up. If Op's GF is peeing a lot more during the day, is losing weight, or is more thirsty than normal, please go to a doctor if left untreated. Type 1 diabetes is deadly. The screening is a super quick finger prick and they take a tiny amount of blood. You can even do it at home with a blood glucose meter from a drugstore for $20. TMI warning. Okay, so major reveal here, but I went to bed all the way through childhood and into my early 30s. I was about 32 when doctors finally found a medication that worked. I was born with a kidney problem, renal reflux, which causes frequent UTIs and kidney infections. Due to frequent urination from infections, my bladder essentially had no muscle control. I tried pelvic floor exercises and while I could crush hubby's XXXX with my pelvic muscles, I could not hold on if I needed to pee. Urologist and nephrologist both tried multiple meds to help and eventually we found one that worked. Hubby was the only one who knew I wore adult diapers overnight and honestly for the first couple months it felt demeaning, so I can understand a person's hesitation to using them. After that I just accepted it for what it was and I actually slept better and I was less stressed because I didn't have to wash so much since I wasn't going through 3+ sets of pajamas each night and going through 2+ sets of sheets. Our electricity bill was lower because we weren't using the washing machine and dryer daily, and our relationship got stronger because I didn't feel ashamed that I was constantly wetting the bed. TLDR, diapers saved my mental health. Asshole aficionado, 11, NTA. And if your girlfriend is drinking so much that she's wetting the bed on a regular basis, she's got a lot more than a slight addiction. Not caring that you're wetting the bed on a regular basis requires some hardcore denial of reality. If it's not the drinking, then it's a medical problem and she needs to see a urologist. If she refuses to stop drinking and refuses to wear diapers to bed, it is perfectly reasonable for you to refuse to sleep in the same bed as her. And, since continuing to wet the bed will destroy the mattress, she can sleep on a cheap mattress or a cheap air mattress so she doesn't ruin your main mattress. No one wants to wake up in a puddle of someone else's urine. It is absolutely okay not to be okay with that, and the fact that she's more embarrassed at the idea of wearing a diaper to bed than wetting the bed frequently, well, that's disturbing. Does she have mental health issues of some sort? And you need to decide if you are willing to stay in a relationship with someone who drinks so much she wets the bed and doesn't care that she's wetting the bed on a regular basis, and consider what other drinking-related problems there are. AITA But this problem is probably a little more normal than one would think. My brother wet the bed into adulthood, took him to many doctors and they all said he was sleeping too deep to even know he did it, let alone wake himself up to go to the bathroom. I also have a friend that knew an adult that did it. The problem is having a medical issue and not wanting to do anything about it, which could already be partly why she is in therapy. I see you're third at it, but you're only 26, and she's only 23. I totally understand you love her. I've been there, but if her drinking is already an issue now, to the point where she's wetting the bed once a week, do you really see a happy future for yourself? She doesn't even recognize her drinking as a problem yet. How many years will this have to continue to go on? Will you want to settle down and have kids one day? Will she? Just questions to ask yourself. Also, if you love her and want to stay with her, it appears you'll have to put up with her drinking habits. You have to decide if it's a deal breaker for you. Best of luck. My ex's dad is an amazingly caring and nice person. His wife has been an alcoholic since before their kids were born. It started with small issues, not that wetting the bed is small for most people, but Op's girlfriend is apparently functional while she's awake, to slow and devastating loss of all functions. 30 years ago she was a neglectful mother and started isolating the family because no one wanted to deal with her. 20 years ago she bankrupted them in business ventures sought to avoid having a job where she couldn't get day drunk. 10 years ago she started forgetting things and wandering around the supermarket all day like a homeless person trapping random PPL in conversations and eating free samples. Today she's practically comatose. She's got the mind of an advanced dementia patient and she no longer can sleep on a raised bed because she keeps falling off of it and getting bruises. She's only about 60. That blind love ruined 4 people's lives, basically, not to mention anyone she could have hurt drinking and driving because she lives in a judgment-free zone. Yeah, he needs to have a serious discussion with her talking about his issues with her peeing the bed weekly. Wow, what a surprise. And he has to push it if he has any chance of this relationship really working out. You can't live your entire life deep cleaning beds because your girlfriend or wife pees the bed more than your hypothetical kids. Plus whatever is happening promises more negative health effects. This isn't natural. AITA. However, I see in your edits you love her and that's why you stay. But loving a person with addiction problems they deny to the point of seeing nothing wrong with losing control of body functions, that's a problem you can't fix for her. You can't help her when she's unwilling to help herself, and you're only going to put yourself through much grief in the future as these things can and mostly do get worse until they finally decide to care for themselves. Been there, done that. It's a horrible way to live and extremely draining. When you see what the other person could be and how life could be for you both, but the other person absolutely doesn't. Please rethink. You can't save her until she saves herself. Edit. I've actually changed my mind. You're both assholes. You're an enabler and your post history is full of hookup posts looking to meet with people. She can probably tell you've been looking into that. Women have a sixth sense about these things, and that's making things worse. But for sure, AITA but frankly this sounds codependent as fuck. It's not just alcohol that does this either so she clearly needs to go to the doctor and tackle the issue from all angles. You say you don't want to leave her but frankly people like this rarely change unless they really want to, especially if they know they'll have a partner they can rely upon. AITA. If alcohol consumption causes problems, she's an alcoholic and needs help with that. Wetting the bed may be a sign of prolapses, She could have that checked out to be sure, but if it only happens at night, it's called nighttime enuresis, and there are various fixes. Ashes should look it up. An enuresis alarm might be helpful. But I need your help. I have an autistic son and he keeps having accidents and wetting the bed. This has been going on for 11 years now. It is not fixable. He has the enuresis alarm and everything, but still accidents happen. We have those big pads and even impermeable sheets in his bed, but somehow he still manages to get his mattress soaking wet. I can't get the smell out of his mattress, so I am forced to actually throw one away and buy a new mattress every time the smell is no longer bearable, which is once a month. This is a big attack on our small family budget. I have tried every single tip on the internet. I can't get it clean. We live in a very remote area. I have no way to get it to a cleaner, and 7 if I could. I couldn't pay for those services at least 3 times a week. Would you please tell me how you get it out? Let me start by saying I'm a self-proclaimed cleaning professional. I don't work for a company with a bunch of fancy equipment. It's just something I started doing out of high school and it's paid the bills, so I keep doing it. I get the smell of urine out, but then the mattress does smell like various chemicals for a day or two. It's better than urine smelling up the house. I bought a Bissell vacuum. Hey Bissell, sponsor me. Anyways, I bought my vacuum about 5, almost 6 years ago, when I wanted to start deep cleaning carpets for people in my town, and that slowly led into furniture. I have gotten complaints of the chemical smell lasting longer than 1-2 days, but not too often. I warn people about it in advance and most of the time they're fine with it since they were made aware. The chemical is vinegar, dry 1 cup baking soda, 1 cup powdered laundry detergent. I use Gain laundry powder. Wet 1 gallon hot water, 2 cups white vinegar. I mix the dries together, mix the wets together, then slowly, I cannot stress this enough, pour the dry mix into the wet mix. Stir until all the dry mix has been incorporated. Can stir with anything. I use a wooden painter's stick. Pour it in a spray bottle. Spray the mattress. Scrub it in with a scrub brush. Let it sit 5-10 minutes. Bissell vacuum the mattress surface after. Flip the mattress over and repeat on the other side. And that's all I do. I do this for mattresses, couch cushions, carpets, etc. My grandma taught me the power of baking soda and vinegar without turning it into a baking soda volcano. This whole situation is incredibly worrisome and above the Reddit pay grade. 2 adults should be much more than simply inconvenienced by a grown woman who is frequently wetting the bed, likely due to alcoholism. She is not well, and this path can be life-threatening. Your edit says love is blind, but it sounds as though you are enabling her. It appears you may be staying to fix her when she can only do that herself. This is a serious mental health problem, not a teen drama. I would recommend you connect with Al-Anon or a mental health provider of your own to sort out your involvement in her self-destruction. NTA. But your girlfriend definitely is, because she doesn't seem to want to do anything about her incontinence issues. Despite having had months to sort something out, you do need to encourage her to see a doctor. It's not normal to be incontinent like this, and like you said, it might be the drinking, but it could also be something worse. In the meantime, if I were you and she refused to take easily available measures to ensure that at the very least her wedding didn't impact her partner, which personally I would find more embarrassing, I would either move beds if you have a spare room or find some other sleeping arrangement where you don't wake covered in someone else's urine. Participant 2, NTA. My BF wet my bed 3 times in the span of a week or so. Each time I'd wake up to him pissing and try to wake him so I could try to save my mattress. He'd refuse to wake up and I had no other choice than to sleep in the room we use for storage on a shabby couch. I was mortified, disgusted and embarrassed by his behavior, especially because he wouldn't clean up his mess or even apologize sincerely or change his ways. It was obvious it came from him drinking and smoking, and it was just messed up. I'd warn him each night when he smoked or and drank again that it wouldn't end well, and he couldn't care less. I still worry I never got it out of my mattress well enough. I was a bit clueless on how to clean it as I haven't wet the bed as an adult and don't have kids and still lived with my parents, so tried to be discreet. Thinking back about it, it still infuriates me. Your GF should be grateful you're able to clean the mess and aren't breaking up with her over it. Your suggestions seem reasonable, and if she's so upset by it, she should see someone about the issue to fix it. It's astonishing how she just lets this behavior slide as if it's normal.